Yo, what's good, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Music is My Business podcast. Shout out to everybody in the chat so far, man. Let me know where you guys are from and let me know what you do so I can see who we got in the building, man. Super excited to be back for another live Q&A. Isomatic already in the building. I see you. What's good, bro? WR Keys, what's up? I see on-screen audio. What's up, on-screen audio? Is this your first time on-screen audio? I feel like this is the first time I've seen your name in the chat. But shout out to you, man. Shout out to everybody. Let me see what we got, man. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. And we're going to get this joint popping. And if you got questions, I hope you brought them. We talk about music biz, music sync license, like music sync, which it's kind of the same thing. Music biz, sync licensing, and production, all of that dope stuff. I actually have a very interesting stat that I want to share with y'all in a little bit. But let me see who we have in here. But yeah, it's super interesting in regards to sync. Michael Connor, music in the building. What's good? Dallas, Texas in the building. I just had some fam legit just moved to Texas like yesterday. So shout out to everybody in Texas, man. Kayla in the building. What's good, Kayla? Good to see you back in the stream. Hope all is well. Man, so let's talk about, I was scrolling through some articles in regards to sync and things like that, just to, check in and see like what's going on in this space. And I came across a Billboard article. Also came across something else that it's some interesting things going on in the sync space. Like one is like indirectly, but then the other is like directly related to sync. But we got Rob Kale Beats from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's what's up. Scruggle, Dallas Scruggs, Seattle, Portland yoga teacher. Love it. Michael Sync producer and composer, originally from UK, living the dream in Vancouver, Canada. That's what's up. Louisville in the building. Got a few instrumentals on TV and film. That's what's up. Congrats. On-screen audio. That makes sense because your music is on screen. So that makes sense. So if you got questions, get them loaded up so we can answer them. But okay, so let's talk about the first interesting thing I came across. Shout out to Devon Marshall in the building. I see you. So this is from Billboard.com. And this is, let me see. So this was actually like halfway through last year. I don't know why this showed up on my feed and it's low key like kind of old, but it said so far in 2022, sync revenue is up, way up. According to RIAA's mid-year report released last week, U.S. synchronization recorded music revenues reached $178 million in the first 6 months of the year. So the first 6 months of last year, because it's 2023 now. So the first 6 months of 2022, sync revenues was $178 million. Just a lot of money. So that's a 29.9% increase year over year. So from the previous year, it's almost 30% increase in sync revenue. That's more than any other sector on a percentage basis, easily beating improvements in limited tier paid subscriptions, which was up 16.6%. Ad supported on-demand streaming, which was up 16.4%, and vinyl records up 22.2%. So like everything went up, but sync went way up. Like sync went up almost 30%. And then the second highest was vinyl records. So that's crazy. And like this has been like one of the largest gains. They said like while during the depths of the music industry's downturn during the late 2000s and early 2010s. Yeah, so like it's been kind of crazy, man. And I feel like COVID definitely played a role in that. Because like COVID shut everything down, man. Like, and it like as far as like live shows, you know what I mean? People performing and things like that, gigs, like all of that stuff. It really slowed a lot of the other forms of revenue down. And then sync kind of became this thing where it's like, okay, well, this is a way we can still make money while we're locked in the house. Like, because they were still, I remember seeing on a royalty statement, like there were shows that they were creating. Like it was some girl, I forget the network, but literally they were like creating on the fly shows and content and was placing music that we had already pitched and already had in music libraries, and they were placing it and we were getting paid for it all through COVID. So it's just something that doesn't slow down a lot. And that's even when production slowed down. Like we still have music like from reruns and stuff like that, from some of the new content coming on. But yeah, so like sync revenue is definitely on the rise. So I thought that was interesting, man. Let me know what y'all think about that. LW says Clint made 100 million of it. Yeah, I wish. Hey, listen, we all going to the beach if I made 100 million off of that. But yeah, I definitely got a percentage of it though. And I want y'all to get a percentage of it too. Is it okay to submit just beats with hooks to libraries and agents, or is it a must full songs? I mean, unless they specify it, I would always just go for the full song, because they can always take stuff out, take verses out, or ask you to do something different. Only time I would like send an instrumental with only the hook is like if they literally was just like, yo, we just want instrumentals with hooks, which I've seen briefs like that. In fact, I just worked on I just pitched an ad brief, and they just wanted just a hook, vocals on the hook. And I mean, the ad was like 30 seconds, so it wasn't like we had a whole lot of time to get into a verse or anything anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't submit like just a hook unless they specifically requested it. Outside of that, just send the instrumental or just send a full song, just to, I don't know, just to be straightforward. That's what I would do. So yeah, Will Smith, shout out to Will Smith, what's good? Lady Low, what's good from Low Key Studios? Jacob Thomas, first time here, good to see you, man, and welcome. Yeah, we going to the beach or something with sand, water, and warm weather, like whatever that looks like. That's where we headed. What's your advice to those who have been working on beats for years and can't find inspiration anymore and ready to give up on the dream? This is what I tell you: give up. So I'll tell you to give up, and then if you don't give up, then you really want it. You know what I'm saying? So if there's something in you, like after someone tells you to give up on your dream, like just stop doing it. Let me see. If someone tells you to give up, and there's something in you that just will not allow you to give up, then you're not going to give up. But if somebody can just like, if you will just easily stop and quit, then I don't know. I don't know what that feels like. You know what I mean? Like I just never I started making beats like around 15, 16 years old, and I just never stopped. So if you want it and you really want to make it happen, man, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to grind it out and figure out why, after doing the same thing, you're not seeing any progress. Or are you seeing progress, but it's not happening as fast as you would like? So sometimes you just got to take a step back and refocus, figure out what your goals are, what you're trying to do, and then come up with some type of plan, man, to make steps towards reaching those goals. But yeah, man, you got to get past the point where inspiration is stopping you from showing up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to show up even when you don't feel inspired. I do it all the time. Like I'll get a brief and I'm like, I don't feel like making this type of music right now. But I have a choice. I can or I can not. But sometimes you gotta suck it up and just be like, yo, like I'm gonna do it even though I don't feel like it. I gotta show up. So that's what I would say to that. When you first started on your road to 10, how did you balance making music and posting content, and what did you post in the beginning? When I first started on my road to 10, me going through the process was my content. So I was just like, yo, let me just record myself and just post like the things that I'm doing, take screenshots of what I'm working on, how I'm staying organized. Like that was my content. The journey was my content at first. So while I'm, if I'm making music, I would probably post some type of, at the time, Instagram was like only photos, the OG Instagram. So I would just post those terrible screenshots of my screen talking about I'm making music for TV or something like that. But yeah, man. And then, on YouTube, I would start making videos. Like if I learned something about sync or, like the business side of it, then I would share that on YouTube. So like literally like people was watching me learn about sync in real time. Like they were watching me create tracks for submissions in real time. They were watching me document the process in real time. So that's what I did. I guess there wasn't really a balance, man. I still had a day job at that time, so I was balancing the wife, balancing the wife, but balancing a marriage. I'll say that balancing a marriage, day job, and then at night that was my time where it's like I'm creating. So I may be creating content at the same time I'm creating music, or there may be a day where I'm focused more on music, or it may be a day where it's just kind of split up. But yeah, that's how I did it at first. Yo, Milo McLean, what's good? Injector Ashley Clint, peep the last name. Let's go. Shout out to the wifey, man. That's the wife. Streaming from the office. Lewis Haslip, I'll never give up. That's what's up, man. I love it. You make music, not excuses. As someone starting from the very beginning, what should be the first thing I do to get started in sync? Go to clintproductions.com/link in bio and enroll in the Road to 10 placements. That's the first thing I would do. And the reason why that's the first thing I would do, because I made a post on IG. I think it was like earlier today. And I was just talking about the free information, right? Like a lot of people try and be like, yo, let me see if I can find everything for free online first, and then I'll go invest in the course. Invest in the course first, bro. Like, and I'm telling you this from experience because I've invested like hundreds and thousands of dollars in information myself. You will shorten your journey from point A to point B. Point A is no placements, no syncs. Point B is placements, syncs on TV, film, media, video games, whatever it is. You're going to shorten that journey because you're going to get straight to the information that matters the most for where you are. And the Road to 10 placements is literally how I went from I had one placement technically when I started the Road to 10 placements, but that's how I went from, one placement to over 10 placements in a year. I'm not saying it'll take a year for you. It may be less. It may be more. I can't guarantee that, but that's how long it took me to get 10 placements when I really focused and narrowed in on mastering three things: production, preparation, and presentation. So if I'm starting from scratch, that's where I would start, man. That's literally the blueprint is going to show you all the steps I took to get started and get my foot in the door and sync. So yeah. Lady Low, maybe continue learning more strategic business moves to monetize your hard work. That's it, man. I think that's great advice as well. Figuring out ways to move the needle, even if it's a little bit, man. Like, even if it's a little bit to kind of keep you motivated. Go grab, that quick win. Find an indie artist who, they need music, the style of music that you make, and reach out and see if you can build a connection there, or, anything to kind of do something to kind of push the needle forward. in your production business. Um, has a library ever complained or asked about you working on exclusive sync music on social media, like sharing yourself making the tracks or leaving the video up? No. No one has ever complained. And then there's some situations where you will have to do like an NDA, like on some stuff. Like I don't share everything I'm working on social media. Like there's some projects that I'm working on that I can't talk about until it's actually out. So there's those situations. And then, as far as just some of the stuff that I do for like production albums and things like that, they don't trip. Some of the libraries find me on social media creating this stuff and they reach out. So they don't trip too much, but I do like to at least wait until, first off, if no agreement was signed and I'm just creating music, no one, like, they can't stop you from doing that. After the fact, if you do an agreement and they're like, hey, can you go take this down, then fine, I'll take it down. But I've never had an issue with anything like that. But definitely, honor any non-disclosure agreements or things like that. Use your discretion. Be professional. I got my first sync deal through SongTrader. I just didn't know till I got the royalty checks in the mail. I know, man. That's probably the longest. It's crazy. That's how most people like find out about syncs. Well, now you can use DistroKid. Not Disco. What is DistroKid? Like distro, not DistroKid and not Disco. That was a baby of Disco and DistroKid. You can use TuneFind. Nope, that's not the one either. I'm tripping. What's the TuneSat? TuneSat. TUNESAT. But there's another one, y'all. Like I found. Let me see if I can find it. I found another joint. I learned, was it, there's a couple different ones. So BMAT has kind of it's like a less intense version. They say it's like for artists, for tracking, where you can know what's going on. So they have something. I don't know if they list the cost here. I think it's way more. Like TuneSat is free. Like you can upload 50 tracks on TuneSat for free and track 50 tracks in the most network, like all the networks in the US and then some in Europe. So if you're like in another country, then you may just be waiting until that royalty check comes around. But yeah, BMAT has something. Let me see. Well, I can't remember the other one. I went over it in one of my TV placement mastery classes, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's a couple of them. TuneSat's like the easiest to get started though, if you want to track it and not wait all the way until you get royalties. So yeah. So yeah. Can you talk consideration fees? Let's talk consideration fees. So consideration fee, if you're working with a music library, they'll say, hey, we'll give you say $250 consideration fee to create this for us. Sometimes it could be more. If it's like an ad, it may be even more, like consideration / demo fee. But they'll give you a couple hundred, few hundred, whatever the budget is for that particular company. And they'll say, you get this up front to create this music. And then, if it places, boom, you get more money, you get paid again. Depending on the agreement, you get an upfront sync fee plus back end royalties. Or again, depending on the agreement, you may not get a sync fee. If they do like a buyout, you may just get a big buyout fee. And then no more sync fees up front, but you'll continue to get back end royalties. So just depending on how the deal is structured, that could happen. But yeah, consideration fee is like, yo, we'll give you this for your time, whether this joint gets placed or not, and you'll get that. Usually once the masters are completed and you send them deliverables, within, usually for me, it's been within like between 30, 45 days or so, they'll go ahead and cut the check. So that's what a consideration fee is, man. They're just saying, we appreciate your time working on this. Here's a little something to keep you motivated, even if the track doesn't get placed, or if it takes, a longer time to get placed. So, yeah. Lady Low says, Clint, we saw you speak at NAMM and have been learning a lot from you and your informative and inspiring emails. You are appreciated. Thank you, Lady Low. I appreciate that. And appreciate everybody that came out to NAMM, man, for the sync panel that we had. Super dope, man. A lot of dope information, dope guys on the stage, man. And just glad we could share, information on what we're passionate about, because it's helped all of us, man. So it's just like when something helps you and it's done great things for your career, and it can do the same thing for others, man, you want to share that, dude. You don't want to keep that to yourself. So appreciate everybody that came out, man. It was insane. I think it was like 700 something people that registered. Like everybody couldn't fit in. So we'll see if they run it back, man, next year, and we'll try and come back out. And looking for music libraries, I notice it's a lot. How do you know which ones to use? Because a lot of them seem like they scamming. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Like, you don't be so. I'll give you some reputable sources, and we actually went over this in the last podcast. But don't be so scared that like a library is trying to scam you, especially if you're going through reputable sources. So last week, if you go back to the last week's live Q&A, I show you, where did we go? Was it APM Music or Universal Music or one of those companies? I think it was Universal, where they have different labels, aka smaller libraries within their catalog, and you can go through and find libraries. Like if Universal's linked up with them, like 9.8 times out of 10, they're gonna be legit, right? Another great source to find, or to look for, is if a library is associated with the Production Music Association. So I am a composer member of the Production Music Association. There's also library publishers members of the Production Music Association. So that's pmamusic.com. Shout out to them. And they only work with like legit libraries. So if they're connected to PMA, then 9.8 times out of 10, they're legit. So those are some things to look for. Like if they just popped up yesterday, like literally, like their website says copyright, May 3rd, May 2nd, 2023, then yeah, you give them some time to stick around for a while, maybe. But a lot of these companies, man, they're legit libraries. They're not going to charge you up front to submit. They're not going to like they get paid when you get paid. Like if they like your music, they do a deal, you split it 50-50, they eat, you eat, boom, that's it. So if they're like charging you up front, or you got somebody in your inbox, I've seen people DM me emails from like a fake Universal, and if you look at the email, like it's not from Universal at all. But they'll try and like say, hey, we want to do this and that, but you got to pay us like it's like something random, like $125 fee. It's like, why would Universal reach out to you asking you for $125? So look out for stuff like that. Those are scams. But, legit music libraries, man, they're not going to ask you for anything up front. They'll have, their work displayed, their clients, their placements. They'll have their catalog on the website where you can scroll through, listen to their music. Because they want to showcase their work too, because they have clients that are coming to their website, so they want to show those things off. So look for that. Make sure they've been around for a while. They got some skin in the game, and And shoot, if you want, hop on a Zoom call with them and talk to somebody, from the company. Ask them, when was the last time y'all had a placement? If it was like last year, then it's like, what are y'all doing? You should have, But yeah, those are some things you can look out for. Hopefully that helps. But don't be like paranoid though, like to where you ain't submitting nothing, man. Like reach out. Don't even submit music at first. Just reach out. Say, hey, are you accepting submissions from new composers? And then take it from there. So yeah. How much should I let go and buy out if it comes to it? That, man, it really depends. Sometimes there's like a set budget per track. I mean, it can range. It can range from like a few hundred to thousands, to tens of thousands, depending on the situation. But it really depends, man. I think, sometimes there's room for negotiation. Sometimes there's not. If you want to get a lawyer, entertainment attorney involved to help you negotiate, if you feel like that's something worth it, then, do that. A lot of times the libraries, it's not a whole lot, but it doesn't hurt to ask if there's any wiggle room with those buyouts. But you do have the option to say no. Like you can say no to the buyout if you want. See what they say. Like, I'd rather not take money up front and participate in the sync fees, and then see what they say. So yeah. Oh, so let's talk about the other thing. Let me see if I have it. So apparently, and I think this just happened like what? I don't know. It's been developing like the past week. So Hollywood writers, like screenwriters that like write shows and films and stuff like that, they went on strike because some contract negotiations failed. They like, yo, we need our bread and we need more of it. So they went on strike and was just like, we ain't writing nothing. So it like halted production in the TV and film space, which, I mean, that kind of affects things. Like, it's hard to get placements when there ain't no picture to place anything to. So, I think they're gonna reach a negotiation though, because I mean, listen, TV and film industry just like being at a standstill, no new content being created, and you know how huge entertainment and content and stuff is. So I think they'll figure something out. So I don't know. I haven't checked like any updates or anything today to see if anything has changed, but that is something that's been going on as well. So a lot of TV series have just, it just stopped until they figure this thing out. So we'll see if that's something that trickles down our way. If I think if anything, it'll just kind of slow things down as far as the new stuff that comes down the pipeline. But until then, we'll just kind of continue to eat off of the stuff that's already out there. So we'll see what happens. Is there a genre that has the most success of getting synced? Not really, man. I mean, there's all types of music, man, for all types of different things. I feel like moods and vibes, like positive mid up tempo stuff, gets used a lot more than like the slow mellow stuff. But a lot of different genres get used, man. If you just scroll through cable channels, streaming networks, you're gonna hear a little bit of everything, man. And you have shows like, I've gotten placements on House Hunters International where, they'll be in a different country, and they want, some type of fusion style of music that has some of the, some of the instrumentation that's native to that country. So you get opportunities like that, man. So it's opportunities for, a lot of different things. In this space for sure. Audible Aaron, what's good? Shout out to Team Dope and Team Super Dope in the building. If you are not a part of Team Dope or Team Super Dope, click the link in the description. You can become a member and you'll get access to my behind the scenes videos and streams where I'm actually working on briefs in real life. And, I take you through my whole process, which I'm about to get, I got to get started. Matter of fact, I seen one. I need to go back through that joint Let me see. Before it becomes too late. I don't know if I can. Oh yes, it's kind of long too. I'm not sure if I can. Oh no, I actually got music in this show. So it's a show that I've produced music for already, but it's season 2, which is dope. I'm gonna have to go back through those tracks and see what they were, what it was. But they're working on season 2. So they give us like this whole little breakdown. So pretty much like if you're a member, you see these streams, I go through a brief, I read this whole thing, I show you, and then I show you how I approach it from a creative standpoint, and some little, and I just start to build the track from there. So this one I'll probably be digging into, especially since I already had something on season 1. I think those would be like easy wins. So yeah. What do you think about video game syncs? It's not my space. Follow DIY Music Biz with a Z. He knows a lot more about video game stuff than I do. I've had a producer go through my course and get a video game placement, but I think it was like through a library. So like I teach you how to, connect with music libraries and things like that. So I think it came through that, but I don't know. Like I don't have like a video game strategy or whatever. And from talking to my guy, Greg, from DIY Music Biz, like he broke it down and he was just like, yeah, it's not like, in some situations, where you hear music placed on like a 2K or something like that, or Madden or whatever. There's some situations like that, but then there's a lot of situations where it's like things don't necessarily go down like that, and it's not like the exact same approach as sync placements for TV and film. So that would be a dope resource to follow to get more information on that. Michael Connor says, yep, the strike meant less work, background actors like myself on the side of sync production and the 9 to 5. Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Yo, funny story. I'm gonna post it. Did I miss this? So I was an extra, Michael, on being Mary Jane back in the day. It was like when I first moved to Atlanta. It's like an easy thing to get into if you're in Atlanta. You want like extra money and you don't mind, being on set for like all day. Chunks of time, but they fed us good, bro. Like the catered meals, listen, that chicken was tender. The chicken breasts were tender, and you get a full course meal, and you get like, if you're there all day from like 6 to 6, bro, like a whole 12 hours plus, you getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, or at least breakfast and lunch. They take care of you on set. The Anchorman set, though, we were eating the entire thing because we had to keep reshooting stuff. But anyways, I was on Being Mary Jane, and I didn't even have. I might have had the NFL Network placement. I can't remember exactly. I might have had like one TV placement under my belt, but I was on set, and yeah, I was just on set. Didn't know that. I don't even know how many years later. Like it was like a decent chunk of years later that I would have music used on the same episode that I was actually an extra in. And I got a clip of it and everything. I'll post it. Maybe I'll post it on Instagram tomorrow. But I literally was on set of a show while I was trying to get music in TV. Didn't know that my music was eventually end up in the exact same episode that I was being an extra in the show. It was hilarious. They actually replaced this is what happened in this situation. And this can happen to you. If it happened to me, it can happen to you. So Being Mary Jane was like, what it started on BET, right? So it started on BET. So when this first aired, my track wasn't in the first airing. It was like a Jordan Sparks track, I believe. It was a Jordan Sparks song that was popular at the time. So they had her song, but then when the show went to streaming, where I think you can stream it like on BET or, you know, wherever it is now. I don't know where it is now, on one of these streaming networks. But when it went to streaming, that agreement that they had, like that sync license that they had for like initially to be on BET, was no longer valid. So they probably either had to like re-clear that joint to be able to use it for streaming, or just replace it. And they replaced it with my track. So that can happen because it's a different, you know, it's a different medium or media. Which one? I don't know which one to use, but that can happen where, you know, they just don't have permission to use it again, or in a different type of way, broadcast versus streaming or whatever. So that was pretty cool. That was interesting. So I had no idea that was gonna happen. Zimzada Music, what's good? Good to see you. Audible Aaron says he's going to get another course from me. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad the courses are helping, man. I never want to create anything that just does not help. Like, what's the point of that? So I'm glad it's helping you guys, and helping you get educated on this space. And I get excited, man, hearing the feedback, getting the reviews and the success stories from people getting sync deals and getting placements and royalty checks and things like that. I love it, man. So definitely keep me posted on your progress. If you are a Road to 10 placement student, or how to structure instrumentals for TV, or a mix and made simple, or a sync producer growth, but like whatever you've taken, man, keep me posted. So yeah, I know the singers, songwriters work more with sync agencies than with libraries. Is that right? Yeah, I guess you can say that. I think artists, you know, people with songs, bodies of work, definitely work with sync agencies, and then some work with libraries as well. But yeah, I think sync agencies is a great way to do it as well. It's another avenue. You got music libraries, you got sync agencies, which have like sync agents where they'll just take a percentage off of, you know, maybe the upfront fee or whatever. And then, you know, you can kind of keep whatever, you know, deals are structured differently depending on the company, but you can go, you know, the music supervisor route, which me personally, I feel like that's the harder or the more challenging route to go. But music libraries, sync agencies, shoot, sometimes, man, you can link up with a music editor, get in touch with them. So there's different ways, man. Flares is in the building. What's up, Flares? It's super important to create a compelling visual reel of your work when growing your presence in the space. Mock-up placements is, if nothing else. I love that. That's a great idea. That's great practice too. Placing your music to actual picture. Super dope. Yep, craft services for the win. Hot snacks, midday sandwiches, the whole 9 yards. That's a fact. They will definitely feed you. So yeah, the Dunts, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What would you say is the top 5 things we should do before sending music to music supervisors? Begin to stalk the music supervisors, but like in a like legal way, like, you know, listen to podcast interviews that they're on, go to their website, listen, watch the shows and the movies that they've music supervised. You know, study their work and, you know, the styles of music that there may be a trend in the types of music they play. Excuse me. So do that research, get as much intel like on them like as possible, even like as an individual, not just like the business stuff. Like if you know that they like a certain type of coffee, like that can be a great conversation starter or a way to even stand out when you reach out to them in an email, or if you're like in the same city as them, or you will be in the same city, and you know, hey, they like this specific coffee shop, you know, reach out, yo, I know that you like such and such. Want to see if possibly we can meet up. I'll buy you a coffee. Just try different things, man. But I would say definitely do the research. Like, don't submit blindly just because it's a music supervisor. And you just shoot off a bunch of tracks to them that may not even fit what they're looking for. You don't want to mess up an opportunity by not doing the research. So I think that's like the top one thing. And I mean, with listening to these interviews, like if you can find interviews and them speaking and on panels and things like that, man, a lot of times, dude, they tell you exactly how they like to how they like to receive music, what they don't like all those things, man. So you can like avoid all of the stuff that they hate. So that's the number one thing I would do. After that, it's honestly, that's the only thing, like, because that's gonna give you everything else you need. Because if from that research, they have a music supervision company, and that music supervision company has a submission email on their website or some type of submission portal, boom, where to submit music. So now create music based off of that research, that they'll most likely like, structured in a way that they like it, and then go from there. So that's what I don't even think we need all 5 spots for that. Those are going to be the 2 most important things. Also, making sure, I'm sorry, no, we're not going to skip over this, because this is the business. This is the part where people miss out on stacks. Make sure you got your business straight. Make sure you're registered with the PRO, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, PRS, wherever you at in the country. Check to see who your performing rights organization is. Make sure you're registered. Make sure you have splits in writing somewhere. So if there's multiple writers outside of just yourself, make sure you have that either in some type of app, like song splits or something, or just a regular split sheet. Like, I don't care. You can go old school and pull out a piece of paper, write those percentages down, everybody sign it, and have everybody's contact information. Because if that music supervisor hits back and it's just like, here's a quote for this sync, it's $3,000, and y'all don't have that stuff lined up, or you can't get in touch with writer number 3 because y'all ain't talked in 3 years and you don't have contact info, then boom, you just let $3,000 slip through your hand. And they probably gonna be a little more apprehensive to reach out again, given the first situation. You was just like, oh yeah, like I don't know what happened to this third writer. Can we still get the placement? They're like, nah, bruh. So don't do that. But make sure you have that stuff in order, because that's gonna make the process go a lot smoother, and prevent you from actually missing out on a sync. So yeah. How long did it take me to replace my 9 to 5? Man, so when I started the Road to 10 placements, what, 2000? Was that 2013? No, 2000. I think it might have been 15, because so I did this deal 2011, 11, 12, 13, 14. It was a 3-year deal. I was stuck for 3 years, couldn't work with any other sync companies. So 11, 12, 13, 14. I think I started focusing on sync for real like 2015. Shoot, about 7 years, 7, 8, or was it 8? Or was it 6? It's like between 6 to 8 years. Let's say that. Of just consistent work, man. So yeah. And then even like 3 of those years, I was doing at least equal or more than what my day job. So I still didn't quit. Like even though I was making significant money with music, I still kept that. Number one, because I had some great what do you call it? Paternity benefits. Man, I had the best paternity benefits ever, bro. They gave dads. I used to work in IT, IBM. They gave dads 3 full months paid leave, like 100% paid. 3 months, and you can break that joint up however you want. So if you want to take like the first week, 2 weeks, or whatever to have the baby and kind of get wife settled in, boom, you take it back, you go back to work, and then you just let your supervisor know like when you want to take the rest or like how you want to break it up. It was dope. I was like, literally, we are about to have the entire tribe with IBM. But eventually, man, it really got to the point where I was missing out on opportunities. I was missing out on money because I was tied up on the day job, and I was just like, you know what, this is not making any sense anymore. It started putting a strain on our schedule in our household, because we had our first son who was young and was always sick in daycare, and COVID and all that stuff was crazy. So it was just like, all right, man, like I held on for as long as I could, like just let this go. So I'm grateful and blessed to be, full time now. Let's see. Yeah, Flares is in the building. Michael gonna have the disclaimer locked. So in 10 minutes, we're gonna do live music reviews and see if your music is ready for TV. So make sure y'all stick around. I'll end this stream, but then after, I'll start the next one so we can get into the music reviews. So if you haven't been to one of those, you're in for a treat. I'm just saying. Fox Tracks Music, if you are willing to share, what percentage of your revenue is from your courses? What percentage is from sync fees? And is there anything else making you money at the moment? Absolutely. So I don't know. I don't really have it broken down into percentages. I know sync is the bulk. And then courses definitely makes up a decent chunk. Digital products, loot packs, things like that. Also have merch. Also have sponsorships and partnerships, which actually makes up a pretty decent chunk as well. What else we got? We got ad revenue from the different platforms: Facebook, IG, YouTube. What else? I don't really do consulting as much because that was taking up a lot of time. Yeah, and then that's all. Like all the sync money is just kind of broken down between consideration fees, sync fees, royalties, buyouts, demo fees, all of that stuff. I have a beat store. That was a stream of revenue. I haven't focused on that in past couple years. Because sync is really, that's my bread and butter. That's where I live. So, yeah. So those are a few. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Those are like the main ones, that I can think of at the moment. So yeah. Ad revenue from the podcast too on the podcast platform. Hope all is well, dropping in and out before the night shift. Indeed, good to see you, Creation Roll. Let's see if I missed any questions. I would definitely go the sync agency music library route for sure. Yeah, Jen Malone is dope. You can definitely find some interviews with her. Let me see. Yes, Tim, dads, bro. They gave dads that. The wives got even more, or moms. I said why moms got even more time, dude. I think they had like, it was something crazy. It was something crazy. But yes, bro. They took care of people who had babies. That shout out to them for doing that. That was probably like the highlight. Man, how many briefs do you get a month? It varies, man. It varies. I honestly, I don't even keep track, bro. Like if I see something I can work on, I'll just knock something out. Um, I think this month has been, well, we're only 3 days into this month. I think last month has probably been, it's been a little slow. Like I've seen, so sometimes you'll get briefs and they're ongoing. So it like never ends really. Or there's like a very, very long window. So it'll be like, for the next 3 months, excuse me, we'll be working on this. Or it's just like, yo, we always need stuff like this. Just submit it whenever you want. But last month, I don't know. I probably came across 10 briefs between the different publishers. So yeah. But it ebbs. It has ebbs and flows, and it just, sometimes it's slower, sometimes it's a lot, and you pick which ones you want to work on. That's the thing I love about it, though. It's just like nobody's forcing you to do anything, especially like the library stuff. Like if they approach you, you want to do an album, you say yes or you say no. Like nobody's mad because you said no. If it's sometimes you can knock out a few albums at the same time. But then there's some projects where it's just like, okay, you're like one of the guys on this project. So no situations, you kind of prioritize those and make sure you focus on those and knock those out. So it really depends. That was IBM that had the amazing paternity leave. Not many companies have that, man, especially for dads. Like, but I think it's fair, man, because it's a lot, man. Like having a baby, like I don't know if you ever had one of those or not, but it looks intense. I've seen it twice. So yeah. Ren McKinley, how much do I actually need to submit to agencies? Nothing, bro. Like it's free. Like libraries don't charge you to submit music to them. They don't charge you. If your music is good, you reach out to them, submit it. They say, okay, we like it. Let's do, a licensing agreement where, whatever tracks you send to us, we'll do, 50-50 on the upfront. We'll do, split the back end 50-50. And then that's it. That's it. So yeah, a lot of the companies that people talk about that have fees, those are like they're services, right? Where they'll charge you either like a membership fee or a submission fee, like something like Music X-Ray. I think you got to pay like per submission or something like that. And then like some companies will go through Music X-Ray to filter people or whatever and apply that fee. Dude, I'm gonna tell y'all what I used to do. I first started, I came across Music X-Ray. They put the company on there. Like, let me see if they still do it. They put the company on there. I just go straight to the company. It's like just see if they have a let me see if they have a submission page. They do it to filter out people who ain't serious. And then Music X-Ray just, I don't know, do it. They make, I'm sure they make some extra money. It don't even look like it's a lot of people on here though, or maybe because you gotta be logged in. But yeah, a lot of times, look, this is $20, this is $8 to submit. I will go straight to the company's website. If they mention the company name, like if you can figure it out, just go straight to the website. So here's one. It's called, here, let me share my screen. Let's do this. What time is it? Oh, we only got 3 minutes and we got to do these music reviews. So let me see. Let's do this. There we go. right, so where we at? Music X-Ray. They will drain you of all your money trying to submit to all these companies. So let's go browse opportunities. Okay. Incorporated elements. Let's just Google incorporated elements. I'm gonna just put music at the end to make sure it's the right place. Yeah, they got film, TV licensing at the top. These are some of their placements. Let's go to the contact page because there's nothing at the bottom of the page. Sometimes submission links would be at the bottom. Okay, so see here, like they're like adamant. There's like, no, you are going to go through Music X-Ray. So some of them they're not gonna budge. So you got to go through the proper channels. But like, I just wouldn't submit to this one because it's like, But I mean, yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's not saying they're not legit. It's just saying there's plenty of other ones that don't charge you to submit. What does it say? What is that, a J or a B? Or a J or like an I? I don't know what that is. I recognize this logo. I just can't remember off the top of my head the name of the company. Here it is. So, Resonant Music licensing. Let's see if they got a website. Yep, there it is. Okay. So this seems more like a stock music kind of situation. Still a library, but content creators. So yeah, they got a couple different opportunities to get your music used. Here you go. At the bottom of the page, it says submissions. Click that. Welcome. Please read this. Look. This is the cheat code. Before inputting any track data, please register an account by clicking on the upload master button. You just go through, read the directions. Please listen, people, subscribers, viewers, everyone, listen to me. Read the instructions line by line, word by word. I'm getting quiet because I really want you to hear this. This part in the process that will make you stand out amongst a lot of the competition. I guarantee you, if you just follow instructions, take your time, don't rush, just take your time, read it a few times, and do what they ask you to do. That's it. This is where 97.375% of people screw up. They do not read. They just don't. They see these multiple paragraphs and they go straight here, start typing. Listen, they tell you please upload the full WAV and AIFF. They gonna throw their MP3s in here because they didn't read. They gonna upload an MP3. They gonna skip this. They gonna leave it on unspecified, and they not gonna get in. You're not gonna get the deal. And then they gonna hit me in the DMs. Oh, I reached out to these companies and they like nobody reached back. It's because you didn't read and follow instructions. It's crazy, man. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Read, read. Follow instructions. So that's a prime example, man. This company was listed on Music X-Ray. If you want to get around the fee, just try going directly to the website and see if they'll let you submit directly. And that's it. So, all right, we're about 2 minutes over, but hopefully that helped you all and kind of gave you an idea of some of the things I do to get music submitted to music libraries and things like that. So if you want information on my course or any resources that I have, is go to clintproductions.com/link in bio. Also, I told you I was gonna build that playlist of some music that I've produced personally that have been placed on TV and stuff like that. So that playlist is now up. It's in that link as well. I think it's somewhere around the IMDb credits or something like that. But click the link, you'll see it. You can listen to some stuff. It's a few different styles in there that I do for TV and film. So check it out, and hopefully it'll help you in some way, shape, or form. Give you something to kind of study. So that's it, man. I'm going to end this stream, and then we're going to be right back for the live music review, seeing if your music is ready for TV and film. So I'll see y'all in a second. Let's go. I hit the wrong button.